Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now in this recipe I'll be sharing with you my new take on jalebi. I have done one in the past, but I find that in this video I'll be able to explain things a little bit more easier and clarify some things, and this jalebi recipe is just so much more improved and so much better. So to get started, I have here some Urdi Dhal, also known as split skinless black gram, and I have it soaked for about 4 hours. I have here some white flour, also known as all-purpose flour or plain flour, some cornstarch, and some Dahee or yogurt. You can also use yogurt. And I'm going to go ahead and start grinding my beans, my split peas, or my Urdi Dhal into a fine, thick, smooth paste. It's important that this paste is extremely smooth. If you want to take that extra step and strain it, you can, but I have faith in my magic bullet. Now I'm going to go in with mix in the dry ingredients to each other, my cornstarch and my flour, and I'm going to allow that to mix really well together. And it's really important that you use that cornstarch if you want a crispy jalebi. Now I'm going to go in with my Urdi Dhal paste, and I'm also going to go in with my Dahee or my yogurt. And the yogurt will be used for its bacterial cultures that will help ferment the Dahee and give it that trademark sour jalebi flavor. I'm going to mix this all up, and you will need a little extra water, so I did just rinse out my cup that I had the Dahee in, and I'm going to add enough water to make a smooth but thick batter. It's supposed to be reminiscent of a pulori or bara batter, as you can see here, but it's still very, very smooth. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cover this using some saran wrap or plastic wrap, and I'm going to allow it to sit for anywhere from 8 hours to 3 days. I let mine personally sit for just over 12 hours. And it's the next day now. I made that in the nighttime, and into my pot I'm going to make my Phaag or my sugar syrup, which I have some water and some white sugar, and I'm going to allow this to come up to the boil. Now I have my batter here from the previous day, and you can see just how smooth and pourable it has gotten. I promise you I did not add a single drop of water more than what I'd added, shown you earlier on in the clips. Now I have here a Ziploc bag, a freezer bag, because it's just a little bit more strong, and I did make a tiny cut in the corner, and I tested it just to see how easily it flows. Now for the sugar syrup, this is the texture you want. You want something very sticky and a little thicker than water, but it should not be thick enough where it forms a thread. And at this point, I'm going to go in with some honey, and that honey is going to add that trademark jalebi flavor and also a little bit of stickiness to it that also comes with the jalebi. And then I'm going to go in with an orange food coloring. You want to use a very high quality food coloring to get that perfect jalebi color. You can add it to the Phaag, you could add it to the batter, or you could even add it to both. And now I'm going to start piping the jalebi. And one note with all my videos, you'll find the proper measurements for all of the ingredients in the description box below, so make sure you check that out. Now I have taken off my Phaag from the heat, so it's not on any flame right now. It's only bubbling because it's still a little bit warm. And I've piped my jalebi into the hot oil. The oil is heating up on medium-low heat, but more leaning towards the lower side. Once they finished frying, I'm going to take them out and drop them into that sugar water. I'm not going to leave them in for longer than about 30 seconds. When I take them out, you see that perfect jalebi color, that bright orange color, as it has soaked up all of that Phaag, all of that sugar water into its hollow tubes. Now I'm going to go a little bit deeper into the actual piping process of the jalebi. So what you're going to do is take your jalebi mix, you're going to pipe it into a clockwise motion 3 to 5 times, then anti-clockwise 1 or twice, and then you're going to make a cross or an X formation, and that will make that trademark cork set jalebi shape into the oil. Once again, you're going to go clockwise, then counterclockwise, and then you're going to make an X formation. So the pattern clockwise, counterclockwise, X formation. And again, the oil has to be perfect. Now, once the jalebi has gotten a little brown, I've noticed that when you do not let it get brown completely, it may sometimes go soggy on you, but that's not always the case. But just to be sure, I let it go a little brown. I take it out of the oil. I do not let it get too cold in between dropping it from the oil into the Phaag, because that will prevent it from soaking up all that sugar syrup. And then when I take it out of the sugar syrup, it gets that perfect jalebi bright orange color. So I make sure to submerge it so it's completely soaked. And if you look carefully at the Phaag, when the jalebi is added, you'll notice that the jalebi turns translucent, and that's as the sugar syrup begins to fill into those hollow tubes of the jalebi. Once again, you're going to go clockwise, counterclockwise, and then make a cross. Clockwise, counterclockwise, make a cross. And again, this video is sped up a little bit, so it will not go that brown that quickly. But once again, you're going to make it nice and brown. Make sure it gets very crispy. Do not let any parts of it remain raw. And then you're going to take it, soak it in the sugar syrup for no longer than 30 seconds. Make sure it's completely submerged so it's able to soak up that sugar. And then when you take it out, you should be greeted with a perfectly colored, perfectly textured, still crispy jalebi. You'll notice just how crispy it is. It has not gotten soft at all. And then when you're done, if you decide that you do not want to make out all of the jalebi batter, because this does make plenty, you'll see in the next clip, you can put the rest of the batter into a freezer bag and you can freeze it. And then when you're ready to make jalebi next, you take it out, thaw it, cut out the little tip, and then you can start frying again. And this is the tray of jalebi. It made plenty, and I only used 2/3 of the batter. One tip I have for you is when you are putting out your jalebi to cool after taking it out of the Phaag, you want to spread it one layer thick so that they do not steam up on each other and get soggy. The worst thing ever is a soggy jalebi. Now I hope you heard just how crispy that was. So this is it. This is my perfect new and improved jalebi recipe. It's a perfect balance of crispy, perfectly sweet, slightly sour, and it's got that slight stickiness that jalebi is known for, and it does stay crispy for hours on end. Now please make sure you try out this recipe. This is the best jalebi recipe ever that I've ever created, and thank you guys for watching.